Stay close to me, my love. You've taught me that life can be revived with a smiling face. The meaning of my destiny can be changed for your love. I can rule the world, my love. Can you see that we can all survive? If you'll be by my side, the world will be a better place for us all. I will make my way, my love. I know I will never be the same. Sharing of my life, destiny will never be for your love. You know I will rule the world, my love. Memories of you, my heart will feel. Trusting in your love, peace will come to you and me and the world peace will
I think a good tell is I'm gonna like sit and wait for the transition to end. I think that should be fine. Is it fine? Is it working? Chat, is it working? Is it fine? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Hi, guys. So good? No? Didn't see that? Okay. Oh, I just noticed. Yeah. First time for everything, I guess. So hi. I am natbornkilla. I kind of still find it awkward to say that out loud sometimes. Yeah, Kiwami does mean extreme. Snapcake, you are correct. This is Yakuza Kiwami. The extreme version of Yakuza 1. We're going to be doing some New Game Plus and stuff, which is always fun. I've already set up everything while stuff was going on, so I was going to explain, like, items and stuff, but, like, we can do that as we go, I guess. We are a little bit behind now. So timing starts when I select the difficulty, and we shall have a good merry 2 hours of beating people up. Maybe make the game a bit quieter. The menu is quite loud. I'll take you at word. I'll drop it down another 1.5. we'll see where it goes from there. But we'll eventually arrive at a point. This game varies in volumes. Okay, so right, we'll get going. 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of story, which we're not going to pay attention to because as good as the cutscenes are, they are very long, and this is a speedrun after all. So movie night is in your own time. Not during this time, during your own time. This is Kiryu, but Shinji. He's not important. He's not a main character. It's fine. Right. So the game is going. This is the part of the game where it would tell you how everything works. This is how moving works and moving around works and stuff. The game usually takes it very slow. Usually, like, it's gonna be. There's a lot I kind of want to explain. And I'm gonna have to pace myself a little bit because a lot happens. So like, this would be like, oh, here's a room full of people. This is how you punch people. Doing New Game Plus allows you to skip this. So normally I can't kill anyone in the room, well, knock out anyone in the room until after I've done all the tutorial prompts. But bonus, I can just not do the tutorial prompts because I played the game before. Yeah. So, Chapter 1 is very much slowly easing in all the mechanics. So that one is just some text boxes explaining about completion points. It's already all sorted, it's fine. That fight was about how to do light and heavy attacks, and also grabbing, if I remember correctly. This one, it would tell me how to use heat moves. No tutorials, so I can just beat them up. It would also teach me how to block and evade, which it's kind of cool. Important game mechanics that get told you very quickly, which is nice. Know that. Chapter 1's like a very slow burner chapter. Good teaching. I'm stumbling over words again. This is fun. It's always good fun. Hey, how do you explain this game to people? It's one of life's biggest mysteries. How do you explain a Yakuza game? So, and now we get to the other part of the game, which is just running from point A to point B. So the game is very, like, it's obviously all the text boxes are coming up explaining how to play the game. Like all the other stuff that can happen. Like, hold the X button to run and press like the share or the left thumbstick to when I went past the shop because I'm... One thing we're gonna notice is when I'm having to think and talk, sometimes I can just like miss really simple stuff that I'm supposed to be doing. Trying to like, do commentary at the same time. There's a very out of place for me. So if anything like misses objective or does something silly, that's why. I'm trying to prioritize talking over doing the run. Second time trying to do stuff, so yeah. So Kiryu has just bought a birthday present for his love interest, and it's just immediately gonna get stolen. And if you're walking around, you've just come out of a jewelry shop and you're walking around holding it out like that hand gesture was implying, I don't know whether you're smart or you're like hoping your intimidating factor just prevents you from being stolen. if I'm being stolen. Kiryu isn't bright sometimes. But then again, this is 1995, so things might be different. Different time. Who knows? So now we have to go find where the guy went. He's very well hidden. No one will ever find him behind these vending machines. He's a master of stealth. Literally, like just chasing a man just around. There was a lot of running backwards and forwards in this chapter, it just dawned on me. And he's gone into hiding, he's just hidden behind this top hauling. Again, he's like the master of stealth, he's hiding in plain sight. So, the third tutorial fight, which ironically I'm actually going to do what the tutorial would tell me to do, which is change your fighting style. So there are 4 fighting styles in the game, Brawler, Rush, Beast and Dragon. Realistically, you'll only see 3 of them. Predominantly, you'll see 1 of them. And slight features of the other 2. Beast is your favourite? Beast is, broken. Which I'll get into later. But right now, let's just enjoy the amazing tutorial chapter where we now have to go to the interestingly named shop, which because of my inability to pronounce W and R correctly, I'm not going to say it. But it's the shop that Americans would go into and sell stuff and exchange stuff for money. You know which shop it is now. I'm not going to have a soundbite of me saying it incorrectly on Sesa. And I'm sorry to disappoint people, that's just a thing that's happening. So he's refusing to buy the story that it was stolen. We have to now go bully Shinji for money. Kiryu is such a good friend. Oh, the game hasn't said this yet, but I can skip text boxes by just holding R1 and X. That's just why it's, the input display is there, but, like, I don't have one that distinguishes R1 from R2 properly. It's the second type of skipping that can happen. I think it tells me about it in chapter 2. I think it's what it tells you. Kind of weird that it's just not here as well. Also, I haven't heard any good music in the background in the shop that shall not be named. Because sometimes you get the instrumental versions of Yakuza 4 and 5 karaoke songs. Usually it's mostly just generic though. It's a trend in some chapters. So it's just a lot of running around and going backwards and forwards, with not a lot of combat. It's like I'm trying to find ways to pass the time. Alright, so now we're done with the reminiscing part of the game, and now it's gonna get to the incredibly convincing plot point, which I'm not sure I should be explaining as I get there, or like Like, it's a weird one because, like, I don't know whether to, like... well, we're not here for story, right? Yeah, we're here for a speedrun. It doesn't matter. This is the prelude to the point where Kiryu is standing over Dojima's body with a gun, so... And they decided to have a tutorial during that entire bit, which is fine. Obviously, you have to explain how we get into this situation somehow. The last run across the map of the chapter. Don't worry, the game picks up pace before it slows down again, so... Chapter 1's quite... like, I think based on the splits I was looking, it's like the 4th longest chapter? No, the 2nd longest chapter. But, tutorial chapter, makes sense. Now... I'm still in like a weird experiment. Okay, I don't keep heat, that's not surprising, but like... No, I need to be in climax heat to do it. Okay, I see. Right. It's fine. Oh, I killed him okay, right. Professional gamer, it's fine. I'm still like getting used to like what actual damage does stuff. It's fine. Yeah, no, getting used to like what does damage and like how much damage certain moves are gonna do to certain people is weird. We'll get into that once we're outside of prison, I guess. Again, there is a lovely story happening here. Movie time is in your own time. That's the last tutorial that you have, and it would teach you about extreme heat moves, which prevent bosses from healing themselves. Now, if I am a good gamer today, you should see that. Never. Because we're going to either insta-kill or prevent it in a lot of cases. Even though I do have the heat moves, so I do have the heat moves, so I'm not as like bad as normal any percent is, where I would have to like avoid them like the plague because you can't really stop them. But it is good to not have them than just have them at all. Now, as a result of like skipping all of the cutscenes and stuff, we haven't been introduced to every character in the game properly and stuff, so I have to do my first inventory management, so we're going to have a look at my amazing inventory now. So, the beads are for no encounters. Obviously, the beast amulet is there for reasons. I have a lot of shotguns. And here's everyone's favourite Yakuza character. So he's basically explaining how he's going to beat us up and show us why we are weak and whatnot. I need to be very careful, because... Yeah, it's fine. So, there is a ability in the game. there is a skill in the skill tree base, in the body skill tree, where you do 30%, I think the figure is, more damage if you were full HP. So, not taking damage is very important. Coupled with that, you also do more damage in climax heats in the red heat gauges as well. So, like, it equals a lot of damage. If I'm not full HP, that heat move doesn't insta-kill Majima. It is that much of a difference. Also, hi Abe. What are you gonna do today, Abe? Are you going to dodge, or are you going to get grabbed like a good boy? Well, you can't get lucky every time. He either just does or he doesn't. So yeah, you might have spotted what's gonna happen. If you were very smart, you now know what's gonna happen to a lot of people in most scenarios. Get grabbed like a good boy? Yes, yes. It is very important that I successfully grab people without them like dodging or and then punching me. If we play this by normal new game rules, that is, it matters slightly less. Like, because I have the stats that I would have at the end of the game, like at the end of a normal run now, I can usually get away with not being full HP for about a third of the game. Oh, how the Now, speaking of like commentary over mistakes, right? I am a lucky bugger. Yes, British. Deal with it. I'm confused how that didn't trigger that sub-story. I just realised where I was running. I'm like, yeah, I need to be careful and actually pay attention to stuff. Anyway. Hello, man from Stardust, who hasn't been named. Yeah. So charge throw, combined with everything else, is enough to do 1 health bar of damage to pretty much everybody. So, mini bosses that mini bosses are just tend to be thrown about. So here is like an example room of what happens to everyone else. There is a mini boss and a bunch of people in the room. So I have shotguns for everybody that can be and hopefully will be dealt with in 1 or 2 bullets. People who've played the games will also back up that like guns are like very weird with what they decide to hit. Like sometimes they'll sometimes all of the bullets will just magnetize and sponge into one enemy, and sometimes you'll kill 9 people in 1 shotgun bullet. There is probably something to it. I haven't figured it out yet. Yeah, no, anyway. Chapter 2. That was Chapter 2. So, here is the first dungeon chapter. The boss that are immune to guns, they don't take damage from guns. Also, the game is going to tell me to sneak in, which is go really slow, which they say is go really slowly to not arouse attention. However, I can move so fast that they will never suspect anything. Master of Stealth.
名前を書くのか。
I'm just getting my notes, actually, just to make sure I'm not missing
こ
anything.
れでいい。
はい。桐生。てめえ、もしかして同時も
No,
親
it's
父
a,
殺し
no, I'm a different Kiryu. Clearly. Shout outs to game design real quick. This is not how you do game design. So, like, I mean, I go on a tangent about game design and why, like, some things are, like, bad, right?
お
You want at least some general
あそれ私が
direction of what you're
した
supposed to do.
見つけた
That's usually good design. The game literally says, okay, you need to find a way of, like, being a staff member, but that's only if, like, you accidentally, like, well, I mean, if you pay attention to where you're supposed to go, I guess. So you have to find a way of being a mortician member of the mortician staff, and that's the only advice you get to progress. So, and it's not clear that you're supposed to, like, talk to these people and do these things in this specific order. So, like, you end up, like, getting, like, weird padding where, like, you could be stuck for, like, 20, 30 minutes.
じゃあ
Exaggerated
私はこれで
numbers,
帰り
but,
ます
like... Just because the game's, like, doesn't really tell you. So now it's in a... But once you get past that point, it's like, sure, fine, we just go from place to place. He threw it in the bin. And now I can go past this guy.
おう葬儀関
All that so I can go past a man. They get better. They do get better at explaining where to go. There's another point. There's another like 1 or 2 points later in the game where they're like that, as well. It is just kind of weird because like. It is just. This is everybody, by the way. This isn't even like New Game Plus stuff. This is just like normal gameplay, even. You just charge throw them to the ground. Okay, if I will follow Shinji by running straight to the objective markers directly. Because they exist, and Shinji is walking at a snail's pace. I need to make sure I stand in the correct spot because I kind of struggled with that the last time. I wasn't close enough to the pictures, but here are 5 important people. That was Dojima. There's Shinada. Shinada? I think it's Shinada. Fuck me, man. I'm struggling. Nishiki, Kasuma, and Sarah. If I actually like, it's one of them. I'm like, my brain's from there. There, my brain is broken. There. Need a reboot. Give me a reboot my brain. Give me a sound. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, so 5 people who are very important. Shoutouts to Rush Style and its many uses, such as its ability to, like, not run slowly. And also shoutouts to shotguns for being shotguns. Average dungeon gameplay. Do they have low HP? Yes. Then they are being shot at with the shotgun. Also, shoutouts to people that know where this gun comes from. I'm not gonna say where this gun comes from, and so if you know, you know. And by that I mean where the gun first comes from. The Conker knows. Yeah, so we have to make our way through the Tojo clan headquarters. While this amazing music plays, haven't really commented much on it. Also, shoutouts to the middle guy for sponging half a shotgun blast there. Because sometimes you get away with it, and then sometimes you just don't. Like there. Like that was a very similar setup and it worked better. You see, I would like a little bit of health back. I mean... do that one because it's faster. I do the weird thing where, like, even though I have like 50 million like stamina sparks, which would heal me to full HP, I like every time I see like a little tiny insignificant bit of damage, I'm like, yeah, I can just keep moving dragon to heal that, right? Like, I'm gonna have to change the beast in combat then, that's fine. I should be able to do it before Shimano does anything. Yeah, no, like, a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage. So, now that we've had like an entire combat, like, chapter dedicated to combat, that's the correct sentence. So if they can die to shotguns, they get shot. If they're mini bosses with very limited health, they get grabbed and thrown. And if anything bigger than that happens to show up, it tends to get stabbed with the knife that's in the inventory as well. And that's the entire weapon arsenal explained. And why so many shotguns? There's like 2 shotguns an extra in case the game decides to like not behave itself. I shouldn't need them. I also have a repair kit on the off chance that those shotguns fail, so we're pretty cushy to just shoot the gun wherever possible. So yeah, chapter 4. Chapter 4. So this is the part of the game where I would say you can do everything that the game has in store for you. You can go do side content if you want, or whatever. But we're not here for that. We're here to beat the game. And, yeah. So there is a very fun mechanic that, obviously we don't get to play with. So, like, one of Yakuza Kiwami's biggest selling features is Majima everywhere. Unfortunately, due to, like, optimalcy, he is currently set up to be nowhere. So he will only show up when he would in the main story. And, in case anyone's wondering, he's at the baseball building waiting for me to show up so I can have a final fight with him. That's where he is. And that's where he will stay. So no, he isn't going to randomly pop out of a manhole, as funny as that is every single time it happens. He's not going to do it here. Which is a shame, because I would love to have that happen as well. It is the Kiwami classic. Or he either comes out of a bin or he comes out from a sewer drain.
さっきのお店の
Anyway, this is Haruka. We skipped her introduction cutscene as well. It's fine. She exists. There she is. He takes a lot more damage from bullets than I would have actually thought he would. They're very weird. Sometimes they don't. It's okay. Just hold on. Very important skip coming up. Okay. The free dog food has the interdimensional portal of having dog food going into new game. And a bottle of water. And a plate for him to drink the water off of. But did you have the water and the plate as well? Because the water and the plate is there to catch people out. Also, don't pay attention to how Kiryu answers the phone. I shouldn't bring it up either. It's a very weird scenario where he has free hands for some reason. Don't question it. Alright, so we need to take Haruka to Serena where she can like rest and be safe. So it's fine. There is a way of getting there without having the encounter, but due to just the way that like and how fast I can like do these encounters, it's fine if I just I was hoping to get that in one bullet really, but I'll take two, that's fine. I changed back to Beast, which is also important, because I remember when I'm using Dragon for mobility, it's kind of weird. I prefer Drama Tumble than I do just switching to Rush really. That's just a little personal preference. I'm not even sure if Rush would actually be better either. It might be. I'd have to mess around. Right, so, yeah. Haruka is going to take us to where Ares is. Oh, it's Ares. Res, I think is how it's said. I could have been right with Ares, to be honest. Trying to pronounce them as close as possible to the way they're actually said. So, kind of weird. Oh yeah, no, here's a funny thing. So, during all of these follow NPC parts of the game, the end marker is always there. So you could just go to the end marker. Except in this one scenario where there is an invisible trigger along Haruka's path, and if I don't go into it, even though the marker is there, the marker doesn't do anything. Which is just like, really weird. I missed the building because I was looking off at the other screen.
So yeah.
That's a brain moment. Also, another like interesting thing. I'm gonna try to start sprinting as soon as they get out of this cutscene, because if I don't do it before, the prompt will be replaced by the look prompt, and so you can't sprint. And well, here is Hiroshi. Everyone's most forgotten boss. There he is, over there on the floor, unconscious. So yeah, no, Beast is a style that exists, and also the chairs just go mental. It's actually like quite impressive. Like everyone like remembers the Dragon Engine as like the weird one that has the funny physics, but like you should see what some of the stuff does in like in these games. It's not quite as silly, but it's up there. So yeah, no, we're already on chapter 6. Or chapter 5 even, not chapter 6. Yeah, the game like kind of like picks up pace. I have to talk to Date. I have to interact with him in order for him to tell me to go to Purgatory. And now begins the great escapade of fast traveling using taxis. Because when you need to go from one corner of the map to the other, what is better than getting in a vehicle that will take you straight to the other corner? Yeah, no, we need to go find out information about Haraka's mother from this shady informant guy who apparently works out of a park.
なあ、あんた。張り紙
Also, don't question how these homeless people just transform into completely different homeless people. Don't think about it. If the developers haven't put a lot of thought into it, you shouldn't put a lot of thought into it either. That's a good rule, I would think. Yeah, all the way to the end of Purgatory, which is this nice, lovely, very safe for work environment, which we're just hopefully gonna go through without any issues. Unfortunately for everyone else, unfortunately for the people that designed the place like this, I'm immune to the kind of damage that can be inflicted in a room like this. It's kind of sad, really. Anyway, this is the florist. He's going to explain. We've had the Colosseum explained to us. Now, for gameplay reasons, the game can't just empty my inventory on its own, and I have to empty it myself. And now I have to do the 3 Colosseum fights. And yeah, these are going to be done exactly the way that you think these are going to be done. By not taking any damage and grabbing and charge throwing them to the floor. We could get spicy. Maybe we could get a bit spicy. Should I get a bit spicy? Yeah, we'll get a bit spicy. We'll do a heat move on Holmes for the sake of spiciness, yeah. Because I would have to do one anyway, because for some reason charge throwing doesn't do enough damage to him. So like if I'm gonna be doing a heat move on him, I may as well do one of the cooler ones. That is indeed a thing that happened. Yeah, no, like, okay, like, I know I said movie time was in your own time, but, like, the setup that he has is, in the position that it's in, is actually kind of incredible, when you think about it. Like, he has this whole bunch of computer screens and like this whole information network centered around information gathered by homeless people. That's a very incredible network of things. The shame we don't get to see a lot of the cool stuff. Maybe if there's a little bit of time later, I might play some of them from the main menu, because that is a thing that you can do. There's a couple of good funny cutscenes with very funny things in them. I mean, I wanted to grab him, not pick up the katana, but I guess that works. So yeah, no, Haruka has been kidnapped again. Well, again? No, this is the first time. Not again, yeah. This is the first time. Silly me. I'm too far ahead of myself. Can you get Ron Majima fight? No, he's in the baseball stadium. Unfortunately, Seafood, you probably weren't here when I explained he's going to be staying in the baseball stadium. So you will get as many Majima fights as the story gives me. Which is 3. No, 4 technically, but I wouldn't count the Dojima fight one as 1. This is a really funny cutscene that we're gonna skip over. This would definitely be on the watch list. If you know, you know. I mean, I got knocked over, okay? There's very little I can do about that. Well, I mean, not skill issue, I guess, but there's one of the Kiwami hit moves, I guess. Yeah, so when bosses reach certain HP thresholds, they'll do that little animation that he was starting to do, when then they'll heal a proportion of their health based on how hard the fight's supposed to be. And the idea is you're supposed to use a heat move to stop them, and there is a fatal flaw with that logic, which is that the more you use the same heat move, the less damage it does. So when you get to like bosses like a race, for example, who will heal like 2 or 3 times if you do them casually, by the time you get to the 3rd time he's healed like about 1.5 health bars, you're like, well, this heat move is just tickling at this point, right? Like, it's very... Anyway. Chapter 6. My notes for this are incredible. It just says, good luck, future me. That's what my notes say. So... when I said at the start of the run that, like, the next chapter is speed up, and this is true, like, we've gone through about half of the game, give or take. Well, not half the game. Like, 4 chapters in, like, 30 minutes. The next 2 chapters, 7 for reasons of its own, but especially this one, is so long, and it's nothing but running backwards and forwards. But before we get into like the long haul run of doing chapter 7, which is doing chapter 6 even. I keep saying the wrong chapter. It's just me being weird. I'm gonna say hi to Kameki. This is a forced interaction. You cannot say no. So I'm gonna learn one of the cool disarming heat moves. But I already know, but don't think too hard about it. So heat moves have cooldowns. So I need to not be shot by you while I wait for the cooldown to expire. I don't know why there's a cooldown either. Why I can't just go from one guy to another. I mean, I would understand like being a cooldown on the same guy. That would make sense for reasons, but it's not like it's easy to like have enough heat to chain moves or anything. Well, it is, but you shouldn't be stopping people based on that, but I digress. So yeah, I'm going to Purgatory. I'm gonna have to go all the way to the florist's office because apparently he has a job for me to do involving his son. Yeah, the War of God Talisman, which I do have on me. It's just for, like, it's in the inventory on the off chance I decide, like, you know what, let's just do heat moves for, like, the end of the game, until the end of the game. It's not really useful. Because heat moves a lot of the time are slow. Unless you're, like, killing... Unless you're, like, mass AoE killing people with, the 3-in-1 beast move, they're not really that good or quick with killing moves. Yeah, no. So I have to go to the baseball arena to sort out a little bit of a family dispute, you could say, between the florist's son and his girlfriend, who is the daughter of a Yakuza boss. The usual stuff that happens on like a Tuesday night or something in Tokyo, you know, like that kind of normal stuff. So yeah, it's not the next fight. Right, yeah, it's not the next fight, but the fight afterwards is one of the, yeah, that's a good reminder, yep, thank you, Brain, for reminding me that I needed to do that. I do forget to reload shotguns sometimes, and it's a bit awkward. So not this fight, there's going to be a fight immediately afterwards, and if there is anyone out there that is, like, flashing light sensitive, realistically, I probably should say, really. That's annoying. That's annoying. What is the way out of this? It's just to do this, right? I don't want to like use the heat move and stuff. I do want to like show off like killing them quickly, so I kind of did forget I was also in roller because thanks Kameki. So yeah, flashing light warning maybe, because like game sometimes does that. It didn't happen. You would know it if it did. Game sometimes does that when encounters are ended quickly. Yeah. And obviously the green circle. If I was to go back in, I would trigger the end of the Majima Everywhere system. Well, end asterisk. It would just permanently activate it. with not another chance of it being not active. So a bit of an interesting style change that's going to happen. Traditionally you will be like, okay, it's going to be beast or nothing. I kind of want to unironically be in brawler or dragon. Yeah, because I can't do that heat move otherwise. And unfortunately, there was a guy stuck and didn't get shot by the shotgun. Sad times. Nice. Okay. Go back to the florist to cash in the favor. Anyone that understands what this essentially said knows what I'm gonna say. The game has essentially just told me to go all the way back to where I was, and then the game is gonna tell me afterwards to go all the way back to Serena again, which is that's a lot of map. Especially since going to the florist office is like the longest bit of running in the game. I think you can actually get to the Millennium Tower faster than it takes to get to his office. Like, it's a raw, like, speed fact. And also, when is a Nintendo Switch speedrun? No, never. I would sooner play the game on Steam Deck. Unironically. Anyone has any, questions that I can, and I'll try to answer them. There is a lot of nothing that's gonna happen for the rest of this chapter. Like, I should get back to Serena, Kiryu says, so... We're going back to Serena. I'm gonna run across the entire map. Well, I'm gonna run to a taxi and then run there. But getting in and out of Purgatory feels like running across the entire map. A long chapter. To be fair, this is like such a weird anomaly, and it feels like such a weird anomaly in this game. But like it's the same everywhere. It's just that every other game spreads its padding out more evenly. Because when you look at the surface, this is a lot of just nothing in this like one chapter. At least later when we get to the next chapter, that like when the filler happens, it's like at least something that we can like do something in, or like do something like entertain with, right? Like. What am I supposed to say? Like, Kiryu then runs to this part of the map. And then runs to the complete opposite side of the map. To then have to go all the way back. It is like, there's only so much you can really say. Like, yeah, like, as a split name, it's literally called Family Politics. Because you sort out politics of two families. Two different families. Yeah. So I have to go to a bar in the Champions District, which is not exactly the opposite side of the map, but Well, it is the opposite side of the map, but it's still... It's still far enough that it's in the other corner. This half of the chapter is faster, it's fine. Like, we're in the second half of the chapter and it's a lot better. Now, I need to make sure that I don't repeat the mistake I made the other day. It's gonna look like I'm taking a very weird path to go to the Champions District, but I'm avoiding two sub-stories, basically. If I go down the shorter path right now, I'd end up in a sub-story where I have to fight a guy, which, funnily enough, you do in normal U-game, because you need money, and he gives you an item that's worth a lot of money.
お客さん知り合いかい
And as for the second street, there's a... If I'm not hugging the wall, then I will get the generic phone call scam sub-story. So, you know, there is a little bit of subtext going on. There's like a very few, like, there's a couple of, like, streets that I can't, like, take in this current state of the game, because I'll just trigger a sub-story if I go down them, and... Well, whereas some of them are, like, very short, and, like, you can get to, like, the no prompt, or, like, get through them very quickly. Some of them are, like, really bad, and not even, like, normal text box skipping works. Looking at you, sub-story number 1. If you know which one that is, if you've played the game, you know which one that is, and it is a very long text box that you have to sit through before you can even say no, which is kind of sad. Anyway, Seiya has gone into trouble with individuals. I found something to pass time, I guess. There's a fight happening. Taking damage, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it might. I don't know. Like, I haven't really, like, messed about with, doing the AoE heat move at not full HP on, these guys when we get there. That building. Like, that building. The Hanagata building. There we go. I caught it on the stream, there we go. I was like trying to read what it was, and it's like, I can't read it like that quickly. There's that building that exists. Also, yeah, I need to remember to take the taxi for 2 different reasons. For like, reason of it's slightly faster, and also like it just avoids messy sub-story placement. Anyway, here is Shota. He is a mean person, and that didn't insta kill him. Okay, there we go. That's So for example, if I was actually full HP, that would have just killed him. So, like, fine margins, right? Like, I have put a lot of time into it, but like sometimes it's like I'm like trying like a little bit of different stuff sometimes. So I'm still like getting used to like, can I get away with not being full HP? But it's like, for that apparently I can't, so it's fine. You just have to do the rest of his health bar. It's fine. They're still not healing that much because it's still very early into the game, even though it's like the middle of the game. Right, so now time for the chapter 7, which is the... I could just pull my life split up, but I think it's the third longest chapter in the game. Not because of padding though. So it's like about 3 minutes of like non-gameplay in this, where we get to like have a nice lovely interaction. Chat. Anyway, we have to get there first. Everyone's fun little thing. We have to go to the tattoo parlor and ask some very interesting questions. And also get taught some symbolism. Again, movie time is in your own time. Besides, there's a good number of people in the chat that I imagine already know what I mean when I say symbolism. They already know what I mean, right? Like he explains about koi fish and dragons. Yeah, that old chestnut in Japanese mythology. I mean, I guess I can explain it. The symbolism is it's because Nishiki's tattoo is a koi fish, which means he's going to have to fight Kiryu to become a dragon. Is the symbolism. Anyway, Haruka is stormed off because she is very angry with us, so we have to go and find her. There's a very interesting thing that like is probably gonna be elusive to casual players, and I'll talk about it when I get there. It is quite interesting. So Akoi doesn't know where she is. Oh well, Akoi thinks she's in the arcade, so we're gonna have to go into the arcade. I must resist the urge to look at anything fancy in the arcade, unless be distracted. Because while I am not swayed by suggestive people in behind cages, I can be very easily distracted by arcade games. Can't have everything, I guess. Nah, there's no arcade games in Yakuza 1. I'm like gaslighting for the sake of time. There is a very interesting card minigame though. Anyway, yeah. So she's at the parking lot over here, allegedly. Have to have a nice, lovely run across the city. And then there is going to be a man here that we need to ask the man nicely if he knows where she is. Ignore it, say no, we're not threatening him, and we're asking him nicely. Okay, right, so she is at a park. Now, people who have played the game know that there are 3 parks. Okay? The game is marked 2 parks, and the idea is they want you to go to both parks, and it's going to say, oh, she must be a public park 3. Right. So, now, what people wouldn't really think, what you would only really think about, like, logically, is okay, well, what if we go straight to public park 3? That's like, people are like, wait, that works. Well, it does. The trigger to progress the game is already there, even though there isn't a marker there. So if I just slot in here, it progresses the story. And all that for knowing that a third park exists, realistically. Like, it's... You can probably find that casually if you're aware the third park exists, but... Also, yeah, I like that disarm heat move. It's not actually that bad to use.
撃たれた男
I wonder if we'll find out who the mysterious organization is at some point.
ここを
But I bet it's in a cutscene, so I bet we won't find out unless it says on the screen during actual gameplay. Right, so now we need to pad time until Nishiki goes to
傷は
Serena.
大丈夫
桐
So,
生さん
I did wonder if it was worth like trying to like sort of like sort stuff in advance with like organizing and stuff with like mods for a pool over how many because the game is gonna make us play. Basically, the game is gonna make us play 6 rounds of odds and evens, and I'm convinced that only 5 of them, that 5 of them aren't scripted, and only 1 of them is scripted. So we could play the fun game of trying to guess whatever's going to be more odds or evens, or the same, because there's 6 games. And this could be how we're going to pass the next 2 minutes of gameplay, because it is literally just going to be the dice minigame until I successfully do them all. This is just realistically the introduction that this place exists. So, let's go guess the oddness or evenness of some dice. What if I go 4, 4, 3? Yeah, 4, 3 we'll go for. Or 4, 2 even. Or 4, 3. I can count to 6. It's 2, 2. Okay. Okay. And I'm assuming this one is always... I'm assuming the last one is scripted because the idea is it's supposed to be the opposite of what Haruka says.
Yeah.
Like this one specifically. I've seen enough variants that I don't think the other 5 are yeah, so 3 evens, 3 odds. In case anyone was wanting to like do the thing. Which is the common one. The common is the middle. Is also, can I go back? Like, I know I said this earlier, but like shotgun inconsistency, right? Everybody at the back got hit. No questions asked. Everyone in the back fell over. It is just like kind of like the game is just do be weird like that, yeah. So yeah, no, I'm gonna walk up the street the one time I can, I guess. It's cool. I can't walk up that street any other time. Yeah. Funny sub-story states. Like, when people are following... Like, when you have people following you, like, majority of sub-stories are disabled. Go to
それ
Serena.
にしても桐生お前10
Everyone loves gameplay, yeah? Actual gameplay. Go to Serena and have a lovely bit of Nishiki exposition. Like before, like before, we will go for the traditional. Movie time is in your own time. If there is time later, we might watch some of them. You can tell the amount of exposition just based on the amount of cutscenes that get skipped. It's a good couple that get skipped here. Anyway, we've decided to not work with him, so he's going to unleash his minions on us. Unfortunately, I have a shotgun. So, but that's about as effective as you would think it is. I was hoping to get the other one. Oh well. Like, personally, I would have rather had the wall one. I thought he was close enough to the wall, but it's fine. It's stylish. We've got to do some stylish stuff sometimes. Got to spice it up somehow. Especially if we're going to continue overkilling bosses into oblivion. The scheme. Okay, so I need to go to the park. I don't know where the game, like... It's doing the thing where, like, okay, here's a progression point, go figure out where to go. And there's, like, a random, in-street text box that tells you to go to the park. Like, nonchalantly. It's like, what was that explosion? It sounded like it came from this place, right? Just sure that's still better progression than what chapter 3 gives you. So I can't complain that much about it. Like, that's levels of acceptableness. But this, however, I am gonna complain about. So go beat up the gangs, and so I have to go beat up the blue gang, the white gang, and then the red gang. In that order. It's not going to tell me where the blue gang and the white gang are. It never will tell me that. There's approximations you can pick up from conversations, but that's about it. The reason why this is like, I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna grab them, ideally, hopefully grab them in AoE heat move, all three of them, and kill them. That's ideally the plan. So the reason why this is bad is because it's either, I think it's Yakuza 4, where you would get the gang war thing that happened, and the way you progressed that was you had to beat up a bunch of gangs in the streets, and then they told you where their boss was. which is a much better way of doing it than go find where they are. Like, as a game play perspective. As a speedrun, sure, this is better because I just know where they are and I can just head straight to where they are, right? Like, something that's better for speedrunning doesn't mean it's better for the sake of the game, like gameplay itself, right? So the whites are hanging out in the little tiny little cubby hole at the bottom of Champion District. And the only real indicator would probably be like, there's a bunch of people talking about White Edge. Yeah, and that's probably the only real indicator. Like, gives me an excuse to roll around, maybe do stuff, feels more immersive. Sure, but there's a point where you're like, going around for like 30-40 minutes and you still haven't found the blue gang yet. It's like, you've got to give something. That's what I say, like, making it based off encounters would be at least, like, it would at least give you it passively. And naturally. It's just a little tidbit I have of it. It's because it's very weird. Because then the game does a weird 180 on this, where it just tells me where the reds are. So I don't know what the game wants, really. You're not retreading areas. Meh. Exaggerated statement for exaggeration. It's just like you have to think that people that aren't like, in like the sense I'm talking about, you have to think about people that like aren't really up there and methodical about checking stuff. But yeah, no, it's like, this is fine. I can just go from point A to point B. This is like quite fun. Like thing. Like knowingness and stuff. I get heat here right now. I mean, I keep heat, right? Yeah. Okay, right. So let's see how this exchange goes. We're setting up for one of the probably like the first actual bit of dynamic fighting that happens, I think. So, I'll probably give some overview context. There's 2 red bosses instead of 1. Ideally, I'm killing both with the knife, and then I'm killing both the bosses with the knife, and while juggling killing everyone else with the shotgun. So what's hopefully going to happen is I'm going to stab the big one first, then shotgun everybody else in the room, and then hopefully then still not have taken any damage, and then stab the littler one. We live in hope that that's what happens, but... had to make sure I was actually going to get that heat move and not he's on the ground, because that wouldn't kill him. That's fine. Heat move usage is weird. I have to be like smart and like press it correctly. Well, press them at the right time, otherwise I'll just get the wrong heat move and then I'm not doing what I want. Anyway, yeah, Lao has taken Harika, and we have to go and rescue her. which is one of the more... I probably should just change to the fresh shotgun. Sure, fuck it, we'll change to the fresh shotgun. I can use the 4-bullet shotgun for Shangri-La later. Because I don't actually need that many shotgun bullets for that. I'm thinking of shotgun management, even though I've said I have 2 entire spare shotguns. I'm still thinking of optimal shotgun usage. Anyway, yeah, chapter 9. So you know those dungeons that existed in chapter 3? Yeah, here's another chapter like chapter 3. You're gonna go through an entire restaurant and obviously not kill anyone, because we know Kiryu never kills anyone, right? It's a well-established fact that Kiryu has never killed anyone. And if you think otherwise, you're just incorrect. So you see these shotguns, they all have rubber bullets in them, it's fine. Oh come on man, get off the stairs. It's okay, I'm gonna have to heal before I go and do the boss, it's fine. I don't need to heal for this room. So yeah, how is one of them bosses that qualifies for the deep cut treatment? He's also very interesting in the way it works. This kind of also happened with the first Majima fight as well, like the one in the baseball stadium. So he's at the lowest HP he can possibly be at. However, he is scripted to go through both of his weapons before I can kill him. And then I quickly knock him over before he starts healing all this health. So yeah, like a lot of bosses are funny. You can do like 99% of the damage, but until they've done all the things they need to do, they can't be killed. And anyway, here's some more examples of Kiryu not killing people. He's just such a nice guy, right? So, yeah. I get to use the mouse. In case anyone's curious why there's no inputs happening on the input display. Oh, come on. Yeah, no, I like the section, knowing that I can use the mouse. It's a lot better. Slightly more annoying to use the controller for, because reasons. The car not being straight is actually quite challenging at the best of times. Even though I like the one in Zero more. I feel like the set pieces it has in, I feel like the set pieces the one in Zero has are better, but yeah, I'm just gonna ignore the car and shoot the ones on the truck. Because the ones on the truck are the ones that are more important. I will take so little damage that it doesn't matter. In the long run, really. That his car is very, very spongy. It's fine. It can survive many RPGs. It's fine. And obviously, keeping in tradition and in line with the meme, this guy is fine. He's perfectly fine. Don't think about it. Yeah, that's chapter 9. I'm on the next page. I need to change pages. Shape of Love. Oh boy, this has the funny thing in it. Okay, so in the original game, I need to get into this before it starts. It's just gonna be cutscenes real quick. Shinji takes Reina and tries to escape from the Nishikiyama family from her. And they leave a trail of blood, and you're supposed to what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to follow the trail of blood and eventually arrive at the destination. So in the original game, you could apparently just go straight to the end. The end point. Which is fun, and quite funny and unique if you know it. That doesn't work here. Instead, you would have to follow the blood. Unless you're aware of a new little, like, semi-new blood skip thing that was found a couple of months ago. Where you just need to be at 2 specific points along the blood trail. That should be close enough that it's fine. So there's a blood trail in front of the Millennium Tower that tells you that you to go to the Champion District, and then there'll be a bunch of beat up guys in front of the Champion District that tells you you're going to the... Yeah, it's fine. Better safe than sorry, just checking that they actually spawned. That I hit the first one. You can't do this out of sequence. You have to go to that blood splatter, then go to that up about there, and then before arriving here, otherwise you won't get the phone call, which unlocks the objective marker, which allows you to go inside the Dragon Palace. You can save a little bit of time by like just going straight to the checkpoints that it has. But as it currently stands, there's no way of skipping the sequence entirely like in the original game. Now that is a quite interesting thing, and I'm happy I kind of vaguely understand it enough to sort of explain it. Anyway, time for another dungeon. The end of chapter dungeon. As that is this and a boss fight, and then that's the end of chapter 10. So yeah, no, the game is quite short when it wants to be. The chapters are quite short when it wants to be. Oh yeah, no. I need to remember the rule, the golden rule for these dungeons. If the objective marker exists, the fight is optional. That's another interesting rule of thumb that I haven't mentioned because it wasn't really relevant until now. But yeah, if the objective marker exists, the fight is optional. That's 5 bullets for 5 enemies. That's, you'll love to see it. Classic shotgun moment. Because ideally they're spread out in such a way that I just shoot once and it's fine. I have 6 bullets, okay. You know, not the smartest move, I'll be honest. That's a brain kind of wanting to be slow moment. I'm just recycling the guns because, like, the ones I'm killing aren't really that clumped, so using the shotgun isn't really that useful. And I mean, the guns are just kind of there. So like, why not use them, am I right? If we're just gonna, like, leave all these guns lying around, I may as well use them. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, like, in Chapter 8 we crossed the threshold where, like, I would have a very similar arsenal to a normal game. So, like, me having a bunch of shotguns doesn't matter, because that would be normal. Anyway, here's a race. And also, here is the main menu music. And I also just press the... Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, you're also one of the ones that gets that treatment. It might be a bit overkill, but better safe than sorry with him. Chapter 11. Honor and Humility. You're offering humanity even. I can read. It's definitely not like an unusual length of time for me to be doing like commentary, and I'm just getting completely flustered now. The gameplay is still going fine. Right, so this is the last fetch quest of the game. The objective is to get into Shangri-La, and I need to get a pass to get into Shangri-La. So we will start by not walking down. We're going to take a taxi like a smart person. And we're going to go to whichever hostess club that is. I think it's Shine. I don't pay attention to them enough to know which one's where. I just know we're going to both of them. Yeah, this is Shine, okay. Because the person that has the pass is apparently here. Luckily, there is no hostess minigame requirements in this game. And now I have the other funny fetch task. I need to be careful actually. I just kind of walked past that guy. Gently. I need to be careful to scoot around the bicycle. Obviously I can't walk all the way up the street anywhere. So there's two other guys I have to avoid. And they're not that big of time losses if I do run into them. It's just the two guys from the Pay It Forward sub-story. So they're like skippable text boxes. It's just for the sake of like not being stopped, right? Yeah. So obviously we can't find an information broker, or they're not going to tell us where it is. These Chinese men are going to be intimidating. I did just say that, but I did just say that with such confidence, and it's going to be really bad if I'm incorrect. But they do have the sabers, so I think that is correct. It doesn't really matter. They're going to be treated exactly the same as anyone else would in this game, so it's fine. I have to go to Public Park 3. Everyone's favourite spot for an encounter. As they always say. It's as good a spot as any. That's a Yakuza 5 reference. That's a Yakuza 5 translation reference. In case anyone didn't get it. Again, like, I understand what I want to do there, but it's like, could you like be a little smarter, me? Like, I know what I want to do, and it's like, oh yeah, no, I will just climb max heat move. And it's like, yeah, no, but you don't generate enough heat. Ah, bad showcase. Bad showcase. It's fine. Just me being frazzled after like 1 hour 40 minutes of being 110%, right? It's just normal. No, all the way back, and it's fine. It's not that bad. Some nice, lovely text box explaining one of the bits of side content. I love a good bit of pocket circuit racing, but unfortunately, we're not here for that because it's not required in the main game. Plus, you have to leave some stuff for people to like be interested in to go and do. I do recommend playing this game. It's a very good game. I recommend playing the franchise. It's a very good franchise. So I've acquired the fake passport. I now need to go and deposit the fake passport, and then hopefully that should be the end of the fetch quest. And I definitely won't have to do another little mini run around part of this chapter. Have I gotten better at foreshadowing yet? I'd like to think that I have. If only things were that simple. You see me pausing, it's just me double checking it's not like... Because even though there's like the skippable text box cutscenes like this one, like some of them are skippable. Like the traditional pause and skip cutscene thing. Got a lovely Italian necklace that I will not use because I don't need the money. Is what it is. So she's given the hip pass to the guy at the MEB. We're gonna have to go and acquire it. That's and then that is the end of the fetch quest at that point. Like I can then go back to go and progress with the story after this. Well, this is progressing the story, but it's like we're out of the fetch quest loop of gameplay. Of running A to B. No, I will not pay you 500,000. You can have 300,000. No, it doesn't matter. I just have principles. I will never pay 500,000 for this piece of paper. Right. So, going back. We'll collect Erica and go into Shangri-La. Nothing bad. Yeah, there might be something small that happens, yeah. That's different. But the game's doing a little bit of correcting, so we need to explain how to progress Majima to the state he's in this chapter. And so this was their idea for this. So we're going to have a fight with former Dojo family members. This is Kiwami exclusive content. Also, I'm not full HP. That was kind of a bit of a potentially careless thing to do. Yeah, we'll just do the heat whip twice. I mean, as much as I would love to, like, fish him out of there, we have more important things to do. Kiryu agrees, so we're gonna continue with the story now. We're now back in line with original content. It is now nighttime and snowing again. Very weird, disjointed time of day this chapter has. Yeah, I'll take it there. And for like the last time, the second to last bit of Kamurocho movement. Tell lie. There's a bit afterwards. It feels so nice to use that street. Because it is the fastest street. And I kind of miss normal new game where I could just use that street. But, like, yeah, I can only use it in this case when sub-stories are disabled.
ここ
Because even though I could just take the fine, it would be faster, it's still, like, the amount of times that that actually gets used, it's... hit and miss, right? I think you go down that road, like, 4 times, I think it is. And, like, 2 of which the sub-stories are disabled anyway. Well, 3 actually. Yeah, 3 times you go down it. Yeah, all the way to the top. At the very last room, all the way at the top. I didn't get Haruka stuck, so I didn't get to do the camera do a funny. If she gets stuck on a wall, the camera, like, massively, like, weirdly pans. Because it wants to show Haruka in the door cutscene. Also, yeah, Majima's fine. Like, what were you thinking? Like, of course he is. Right, I need 1 singular shotgun bullet. And not the skill issue. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's an objective marker, so this is optional. They're all optional. Well, except the guy holding a chair, because he's too round for Kiryu to get past. That's the diplomatic way of putting it, right? He's too round, yeah. Anyway, last Majima fight of the game. And hopefully you got, like, scarily close to doing something there. Like, kinda scarily close. I kinda didn't like that. Yeah. Yeah, no more Majima. Majima not in game anymore. It's time to go to the boat now. Not that boat, it's a different boat.
芝浦に行く準備はできたのか
The exposition boat. I wouldn't, that's not an exaggeration either. I think, like, there's more, like, if Nishi gives, like, initial exposition in chapter 7, then Kazuma is just about to give the rest of the exposition that, like, you need for, like, the story to make sense. And once again, for the last time today, movie time is in your own time, and not right now. I digress. There is a lot of exposition that is being spouted here. A lot of it. And unfortunately, the speedrun, so we skip it all. It's probably the only downside to speedrunning these games. But I've played this game, like, more than enough that it doesn't affect me anymore. So Shimano's family are attacking the boat. I don't know. I don't know, actually. I think he was low enough health that didn't matter. Like, random guy in the game that just has grenades. I don't know why he's on the boat. That just seems a bit precarious and dangerous. Not gonna lie. There's still a guy left, by the way. I fired 8 shotgun bullets. There's still a guy left alive. There's 2 guys left alive. Like what? Absolute cinema. Peak cinema. It's like, it just doesn't matter, right? Like, Shimano's head is so big, it sponged all the bullets. There we go, that's what we'll go with. Yeah, no. Last chapter. We're almost there, funnily enough. Go to Erez or Ares. I'm gonna have to go and press the lock-in button. No, you haven't missed time yet. No, like, I'll say when time is. Don't worry about it. Still got one whole long dungeon escapade to go before we get there.
何かと必要だと思って。
Yeah, my last chance for free time. After I talk to Kazuki, I'm officially committed to finishing the game. Is what that text box basically summarizes. So now I essentially started the last sequence of the game. So in about... I haven't got my splits up, so I would say probably about 10 minutes, but I'll say when. It's fine. Yeah, so we have to go to the Millennium Tower. This is the generic. Everybody in Japan has been promised a lot of money to beat you up fight. So we're just going to beat up like a huge majority of the street population. I know it's like 20 people, but like it's small numbers, right? There's a lot of people. It's supposed to be a lot of people. It's me trying to actually use the combat system instead of just like grabbing the guy. I like to unwind a little bit here. Like too much like strictness. So I've taken the you might have noticed during the inventory management I took the beads off and I equipped something else. It's one of the climax battle rewards. It does the exact same thing that the beast amulet does, except applies it to the dragon style as well. I do have to be careful because encounters do exist, as I've just ran past, and normally I don't take it off until I get to here, just to completely avoid them altogether, but we got away with it, it's fine. Never punished, as you would say in the industry, it's fine. So yeah, we have to deal with the MIA, which is the name of the mysterious organization that attacked us earlier. They're all just like hovering around the lobby, it's fine. You guys aren't coming over, good, good, good. Come. I'd much rather be here than closer to the middle where this guy spawns. Because sometimes they get stuck over there, and it's like, it's really annoying. Yeah, I'm gonna do a shotgun check. I think I have like 4 shotguns, by the way. Like, just... Like, I don't think I'm actually joking. It's like, I feel like it's like I have so many extra shotguns in case the game's just like... Yeah, I have 3 full shotguns and 1 repair kit, so it's like, yeah, like, I definitely have way too many. But you never know, right? So I could be more generous with shots, but ideally it's just as few as possible. A lot of cutscenes. There's just 3 more things left. Also, my ability to like press the wrong button to get the shotgun out is impressive at times. I know it changes depending on what style I'm in, but it's like even it confuses me. Hey, here is the Jingu boss fight, or boss sequence. I probably should say is probably a more accurate descriptor of it. He's gonna send a whole bunch of his private government CIA-esque men, and he's gonna go away in his helicopter. He's gonna be at the top waiting. He's doing this to show off because he could just walk up there like a normal person, but he has to show off obviously, so he's taking his helicopter. That's fine. I'm healing when I get up there anyway, so it's fine. Use rush to move faster up the stairs. I'm gonna go into beast at some point. I don't want to pick up Jingu. Oh well. That's fine. Ideally I wanted Jingu on the floor just so I can body slam him. It's fine. It does more damage that way. It's fine. Okay, that's cool. It's fine. I can't insta-kill Jingu because I need to wait for the guards to get back up anyway. Scripted mechanics. It's cool. It's cool. It's just annoying. Still not yet. We have one more thing to do. We have to go and start the final boss of the game. The true final boss. The best boy. I do love Ishki's theme. In keeping with themes, this is about to be as anticlimactic as you think it is. I'm gonna do that to get rid of a health bar. I'm then gonna do this to get rid of the rest of his health bar. And then I'm gonna charge into him as he's getting up off the floor to skip the Kiwami healing mechanic and just progress through the fight. Because it interrupts them. It interrupts the boss just enough, but it progresses the fight. I need to get to a QTE point, otherwise the fight cannot end before that. And yeah. So time is coming up. Time will be when Nishki's health bar disappears. I have done all the inputting I need to do, but time will end when it disappears. And there's time. So yeah, no, yeah, you did miss it on that point, but yeah, it's fine. I think we've lost our thing, but that is time, I guess, yeah. Oh, that was interesting. Whew. I didn't get the funny. We didn't get the funny. I'm just looking at live split now. We didn't get the funny. But that is technically category world record because I haven't submitted the last one I had, but... So yeah, no, way underestimate. I apologize. This is gonna possibly mess with the entire schedule. I was surprised when this happened the other day, so yeah. That was fun. Get through these cutscenes real quick, and we'll get to the one that matters, and I'll do the closing speech. So yeah, no, this is fun. This is fun. This is my I didn't want to do Sonic Frontiers side hustle, and it actually ended up being really fun. Bonus content? I don't know. I'd have to talk to scheduling, right? I didn't have any planned, weirdly, either. How pressed are we? Because that'll be what it depends on. But yes, but you still have the 15 minutes. See, like I did have something originally planned as extra content, but I couldn't get a file set up to have it. But I could. Next one is supposed to start in 57 minutes. Really? 57? Well, 31. Yeah, like 31 minutes. Like 10:35, right? Unless we're... or something development has happened that I'm not aware of.
行くぜ。
Yep, so you can find me like
もう
at
戻ってこないのか。
twitch.tv/natbornkilla. Like, we'll be doing some things. I'm gonna try and do more other different speed games. I might actually do like Yakuza 0 or something as well. It's just like, I find learning new things like really weird, but like Kiwami was like kind of fun to learn because it's something I kind of already like knew I could do anyway, because I kind of know how the franchise works and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, that's fun. If we're like wanting for like actual content instead of just like sitting in the music for a bit, see, I wish I unironically had an Amon save file ready to go. That kind of was like the backup plan, but you can play it out here, I guess. Yeah. Alright, okay. I think because I didn't have anything like really planned, I'm gonna have to say it's I apologize for not lowering the estimate sooner. But I only realistically found out this was gonna be a problem yesterday. So yeah. Twitch.tv/natbornkilla. I stream there apparently, sometimes. Trying to be more frequent, sometimes it isn't. It depends on me. So I don't know what scheduling's gonna do. But I know the next marathon run is Speedster playing Sonic Origins. I don't know what scheduling's gonna do for 20 minutes. It'll be fun to see. And I will be the schedule on the OBS is different from the spreadsheet. I don't know. So I'm gonna leave George to figure this out. It's not my position. I have contributed what I have to contribute, and don't go anywhere. There's more content coming. Bye.